This channel is about the reviews that you request, and you ask us to review the all-new Lexus NX. Let's go! Well, the question, how good is this new generation now? Thomas here with Autogefühl. You can see big Lexus logo, this grille here, sporty styling, huge indeed, vertical style in this case then here, and the LED daytime running light really slim, and of course also full LED lamps today, a black styling. The length at 4.66 m or 183 inches, just slightly longer than the previous generation, and once again styling was striking in the front, here very elegant in the side profile, dividing in light and shadow, and then here dissolving in this kind of triangle. It's a really interesting design and coupe-like shape here at the side. 20-inch wheels are today's choice, and the F-Sport version would be standard with 20-inch wheels. Also in the F-Sport you get an adaptive suspension. That might be a reason to go for the F-Sport indeed. But what do you think about the design here so far? Tell me in the comments. Very interesting rear styling here. Most of the manufacturers go now with one light strip going all the way across. Here it's also going way wide, but here you have this split between the element here and then the middle one. I think it looks really beautiful. So overall also a very clean design here.
This is the car key, slim and light actually. Nothing special, but nothing bad. Here these door handles, they are new. And they do not move at all. There's like an area behind it which you can touch and then they open. But you see here, they don't come towards you or something. And this is somewhat lacking haptical feedback, I think. So, and then door closing sound, it's really solid. And you can also see here the build quality, how everything is aligned very, very well. Inside of the doors is just slightly soft. My favorite element for today is here this matte open cell wood. Just listen to this. That's beautiful. And then here the all-new interior. Let's begin with the steering wheel. Here you can see you do have real buttons on the steering wheel, for example for volume. And then you also have these that can be pressed, but they are touch at the same time. So you can press them, but you can also touch them. And you will soon see that this can be irritating at times. As for the seats, there are two different forms, either this one or the F-Sport seat, which would have more support here in this shoulder area. And I think I do recommend the F-Sport seats from my experience with Lexus so far, but they're both very good as for the ergonomics. And this seat here is available in animal skin leather or in Nulux or Tahara leatherette, animal friendly and also more sustainable. But how to differentiate? Well, here with the pattern. This pattern indicates it's animal skin, and the pattern that would go like in more vertical would be the animal-free one. But indeed it took me a while to figure that one actually out. Here the NX, although we don't have it at this very vehicle, offers a vast amount of great Tahara or Nulux materials in black, white-black combination, red, brown, bright, so all colors you can imagine. You just have to see like which combination and in which market what is being offered. Seating position, ergonomics is really good. Steering wheel, up and down, in and out, and you also have this effect that when you here turn off the vehicle, then seat goes backwards, steering wheel goes in. Yeah, turn the lights off, okay, no problem. Sorry about that. And here when you activate it again, then steering wheel comes towards you, seat goes forward, and yes, always these beeping sounds, really annoying. But one thing is here, I'm not sure if you can already see it. This is the steering wheel all the way out, the whole column. And I wonder about that. Usually I would have the steering wheel like here and maybe it go a little bit further back with the seat to have a very comfortable position as 1.86 m or 6'1" guy. And I also have enough headroom here left. But that steering wheel is just so close to the dashboard, even in the widest position. And here, just look at that. When I put it all the way in here now, this is like I'm almost steering at the instruments. So I really wonder why they have just didn't make the steering column a little bit further, you know, just a little bit longer. And this is also really interesting, how to open the door from the inside. You just press it like this, you know, and then it goes open. And the manual release would be then the classic way, you know. This is like the manual release for emergency situations when the car doesn't have power or something, you're maybe trapped inside or so. So that goes against intuition a little bit, but after a while you get used to it a little bit, and then just pressing it is also not too bad. Cockpit overview, really interesting. It stands out, this, you know, kind of like this attachment here.
either 10-inch screen or optional or in higher trims than the 14-inch screens, really like in-your-face screens, but there are also interesting elements that have been more or less kept. For example, you still have a AC dial here, this round dial. Have done the temperature in the middle. It reminds us a little bit of what Range Rover has been doing. When strength, however, then here in the infotainment system, this is here then the map, and you see it's actually quite responsive, so that's cool. So as for the infotainment software, also a big step forward here for Lexus. Look also here at the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto integration, wireless, by the way. This is once again, really large indeed. And then you can also, access some more climate functions here. Here, for example, the heated steering wheel. You can also set it to auto. To me, a little bit more complicated, definitely, than if you would just have like separate switches here. At least it's kind of big enough. And the sound system, you can also have here this, manual volume control. This is not the Mark & Levinson sound system here, but already this one we have in here is actually quite decent. So yeah, really like the sound. So they have really good sound systems there, definitely. Rear view camera has an okay resolution, but the display is also very big, you have to say. And what else? Here it's not a live view, but then kind of like from past image, it builds up a transparent car drone view, so to speak. But you've seen that it kind of builds up. It's not then like what you see in the middle is not live, but from the from the past actions, so to speak. Head-up display is always helpful, so a nice option. But the strange thing is here, you have so many controls, and I'm doing that from the steering wheel. And the strange thing that the control on the steering wheel is controlling stuff in the head-up display somewhat. It also switches, then I can also adjust the height here. But then again here, when I'm doing like this right and left, at this moment, contents in the instruments change and not in the head-up display for real. And this is so confusing. So here now, when I press right and left, then I change the contents here. When I press up and down, I don't change contents in the instruments, but adjust the height of the head-up display. So yeah, I really don't get it. But instruments are also clear to read. Here the speed is what you need. Left side would be then for the electric, for what's battery left, and right side then where I still have that fuel. Here, by the way, eco mode, normal mode, sport mode. The sport mode has then this red appearance. And here once again I can press. That's actually okay. But then also when I just do like this. This also changes things, so you can accidentally activate something by just, holding your finger here. Here, the back mirror has this special effect that when you turn like this, then it becomes a camera image. That can be quite good when you, for example, load all the trunk like to the very top and you can't see anything anymore. No, I'm not saying you can't see. And then you can activate the camera image and can still see. USB-C and USB-A chargers, and then there's here an inductive charging pad for your phone. The Apple CarPlay Android Auto connection works wirelessly. Shifting lever is still somewhat complicated because here, for reverse, you still have this kind of step effect, and here also for the drive mode. Why did they do it that way? Here, this armrest goes either here or here, so in both ways, and then more space underneath. We have a beautiful brown ceiling here today, by the way. The material at the inside of the doors is not super plush, but at least they use the same one in the rear and in the front, so it's also somewhat soft touch, and also the nice matte wood here at the inside of the doors. Seating position in the rear, when tall drivers are here, you can see you fit in with at least 4 tall adults, and headroom wise also no problem for me. It's also fairly comfortable once again here. And Isofix at the outside part. Let's see, here we have cup holders, and they are also adaptive. And then in the middle part, can we sit here? Yeah, it's actually also fairly comfortable and soft. And in this middle part here, it's not too high, and you have 2 USB-C chargers and also seat heating if you pick that option. Trunk area around 550 liters. Here the width is 1 meter or 40 inches. Here going further in, here at the very beginning it's a little bit wider, and the standard length normal truck is about 95 centimeters or 37 inches. Here in the front you do have space for the charging cable here in that
plug-in hybrid version, so that's coming quite handy. You can see here luggage fits in easily. Also then here the cabin trolley in a vertical way. Let's put that out actually, and then we can see I already folded one of the half. This is like this wobbly cover. You can of course remove that. You can also reach over that slightly like this, and then can fold the seats from here. But yeah, probably easier to do it than from the rear area. And here the total length to the seat as I would be driving is about 1.80 meters or 70 inches. NX 450H Plus. Well, we know H is for the hybrids, but H Plus? What about that? Engines, it's all about the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, no turbos, and then either as a pure combustion engine, as an inbuilt hybrid, or today here as the plug-in hybrid version. The hybrids get the H after the name. This one here, the H Plus, signalizing this as the PHEV drivetrain with an 18 kilowatt hour battery. Oh, and have you seen? It's being held up by gas struts. Nice. And if you have all-wheel drive model, like also here the plug-in hybrid, there's an additional electric motor at the rear. So in this case then, combustion engine front, plus an electric motor in the front, plus another electric motor in the rear. This is Thomas's driving lounge here with the Lexus NX all-new generation plug-in hybrid drivetrain, so the most powerful one. Will it also face the German Autobahn test? Yes, of course. From 45 kilometers an hour, let's go. $100. 150. Now wind noise is picking up. 170. 180. Should actually go 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles per hour max, but you see here we take some time to reach that. Now the wind noise is actually quite loud. Of course also that sound from the engine doesn't sound too good. That's really aspirated engine, and then also this eCVT they're using. 195 we are reaching max. Suspension shakes up notably, not feeling too safe. So in the F-Sport version where you have the adaptive suspension, that would be better actually, so I can recommend that if you're rather a fast driver. Here, I mean, it still feels okay, you know, but let's say it doesn't feel best in really fast driving. 120 kilometers an hour, 70 miles an hour is a very good motorway speed, then also the noise insulation is fine actually. But if you compare to the previous generation, optimization from the chassis, so already the base versions feels a little bit sportier. Steering feeling here is very light actually, but not too indirect, so overall likable. But then again, well, I said in the interior part, I really would like a seating position here together with that steering wheel where it just comes more outward. I always feel like, you know, it's just too close to the dashboard here. That's a very, very strange feeling indeed. You know, like an average fuel consumption for a plug-in hybrid is always a very tricky thing to do. There is no reliable, you know, amount for that actually. So because it always depends on how much do you charge, you know. So it can be everything from 0 liters to 9 liters per 100 kilometers, anything basically, you know. That's a tricky thing also then for me as a reviewer when driving plug-in hybrid vehicles. Definitely it's easier when you have the inbuilt hybrids and you can say, oh, there's, you know, good fuel economy here and there. Of course here, when you do not charge this car externally, then you also can more or less drive like with the normal hybrid system, also here in this special driving mode, because you still have some recuperation moments and you can use this buffer then when starting up. Of course, this is more meant to be that you charge it from the outside and then have all electric driving to somewhat 50 kilometers, 30 miles, pure electric driving. And then when it's empty, then you go for a combustion engine, or when you go on a longer trip. Here, when you have this charging mode activated, you also hear that the engine is definitely louder overall. So not really a thing that is to be recommended, so to speak. Once again, we can go a little bit fast, accelerate here. See here the pin down, and then the engine is getting activated. And let's keep it here now at 150. Noise insulation here is still quite decent. So we've heard louder ones, we've heard more silent ones definitely.
And I already gave you a glimpse of information of that in the interior part. How to control the digital instruments and the head-up display, to me, that's really a nightmare. So, especially like, you know, that these fields are kind of like touch sensitive. At the same time, you can press them and it's mixing it completely. And when you do like just this, I've done it like 3 different things now. Just by, you know, touching it here, I can activate the cruise control here. But at the same time, the same button here, at some point, here when I press this here, this button, and now the same button here puts the head-up display up and down, but right and left control something in the instruments. And you think like, how is my brain supposed to cope with that? I mean, even if I'm saying that, I still don't really understand what it's doing. The driving comfort actually, the seat ergonomics, really good, we know that from Lexus. In the ES, I found that the F-Sport seats are even better. So we do not have the F-Sport seats here. So maybe I would even try to go for an F-Sport version to have the sportier ergonomics, which not necessarily need to be less comfortable, but even more comfortable. If you ask me, the previous NX, I mean, here you get more fancy stuff, definitely. You have this, you know, new touchscreen thing and have everything bigger. It looks more modern. Noise insulation a little bit more improved. You know, chassis from a riding rigidity and so on. So here also that back mirror, that they can have the camera when like everything is packed fully in the trunk. Definitely the more modern impression. But we are seeing now the things that I especially can say about all new Mercedes vehicles, that the new generations are way harder to control than the previous versions. And it's so sad because this vehicle still delivers a great luxury experience. You know, the high build quality, the great reliability that this Lexus always standing for. We also have a great seating comfort. Suspension is also fine, even though we don't have the adaptive suspension here. It will be even better with the adaptive suspension, so that's also another reason to go for the F-Sport actually. So it's still a great mid-size luxury SUV, no doubt. But to me, really, this more complicated user interface is somehow interfering with the, you know, just getting into the vehicle and enjoying it. You know that feeling? And once again, such a relieving feeling here, driving all silent. And I mean, I wonder, we have the UX, which is all electric. Shouldn't they have launched the all-new NX pure electric as well? Maybe even at first hand? That would have been something, right? Yeah. So what do you think? Still, you know, good driving experience here. You do not get the sportiest ride from that. This will also once again be better in the F-Sport with the adaptive suspension. Still very well built, and the reliability is the thing that still speaks for it. So overall, very interesting driving experience. Yeah, but once again, the user interface here, not too happy with that overall. Well, have you seen our Audi Q5 plug-in hybrid version? This one is the video here. Tune in there. Or, of course, one of the big competitors here is the BMW X3, recently facelifted.